Welcome. Welcome to the cinematic experience of a lifetime. Welcome to the future of film as we know it. Welcome to the new industrial, professional, and creative standard for all art henceforth.
Welcome to what people will consider a breaking point in film history, a distinct metric of before and after used to separate the archaic from the modern. Welcome to...
From the beginning of artistic, let alone cinematic creation, megalomaniac Goliath at every time period have attempted to sway and control the artistic masses away from the true principles, those who reign upon your artistic freedoms.
The giants of academia, the university that tells you how to perform, how to be profitable, or, if you're lucky, how to exploit and deceive the naive other folk into believing somehow you can create an avant-garde art movement. Well, I stand here today to tell you that we say no more.
We are here to disrupt and push forward past those pretentious, pompous, perverse purveyors of art, because they are wrong. They are all wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong! The future is now. It is here. It is the source. It is the end game. It is...
We have lost our way.
We have been blinded by the opioids of our time. The philosophy of yore has led us into a deep, dark, sin-filled cave, chained us to the wall, and flogged us beyond our wildest nightmares.
It is time to reclaim our artistic spirituality via focus on reflection, introspection, and most of all, transformation. We must purge our bodies of their amoral compass and subscribe to the new tenets of piety within art. We must unify under one voice, one message, one central theme. We must do this in order to achieve singular artistic clarity. Through these holy commandments, we will become one soul of creation. We will finally tap into the true collective unconscious and achieve artistic nirvana. We will find salvation through... Everyone sees what you appear to be, but few experience what you really are. We are here to augment that narrative. It's important to have one's priorities in perfect order if we want to propel ourselves to new heights of craftspersonship. Then we need to adhere to these priorities to the best of our abilities, and our team believes in you.
We believe that by fostering a culture of cross-platform, integratory, mechanic pycnolepsy, that your output of cohesive solutions for multifaceted integrations of hypnodronparesis and complete cellular annihilation on a subatomic level of your competition, delivered on a platform of direct strategies for a modern technarium, is achievable. And to take your unique vision there, we have the first one of our mandatory cinemacratic integrations. Some detractors of our hands-on management handling of possible infractions on the part of user say that we are Machiavelli of the Prince Niccolo. But the vulgar crowd always is taken by appearances, and the world consists chiefly of the vulgar.
I stand to tell you there is not, nor will there ever be, a more elegant, streamlined way of deliberation within an artistic form.
This is gleefully incorporated is as follows. To manufacture art of a significant quality based off of the values presented under the statutes in this presentation, individuals, teams, persons, and incorporated institutions representing, creating, and/or facilitating work of the cinematographic or artistic merit must make a deliberate and conscious effort to induce a state of pycnolepsy via hypnodronparesis as detailed in the included 10-page legal documentation. Any violation of this guideline henceforth will result in immediate termination of all previously aforementioned parties. and an enforceable violation stricken to the record of the rules set forth, specifically those detailed in the field guide known as
the artistic massacre of humankind is imminent, and we have only ourselves to blame. The downfall is here, and we have to change before it is too late. It is no one but you that bears this responsibility, because to them you're a pathetic worm in the eyes of true artistic merit. A mere pillar of dirt and decay, a rotting corpse of the cinematic, with the value of even less. And if you don't change immediately, you will be. We've embodied our fate, and now they, scratching and clamoring, attempting to distance themselves from the mouth of oblivion which they have so gladly gallivanted into, must face their crimes. To them, you are nothing! Valueless, a concept not worth mentioning, and unworthy of the glorious downfall that should become you if you don't listen to me. There is nothing we can do to stop this tsunami of change, so we must get aboard while we still can. You must control the narrative. Who do we have to thank for this plan? It is the work of one man, of one hero of craft, a cinematic and artistic force which the world has never seen and will never see again. Lest he should rise from his grave as Lazarus and recondemn you as the sinners that you are. According to them, you're unworthy of what is to follow, and the only reason you should be allowed to continue breathing the same air as this artistic sentiment is that you will surely never capitalize on the pure ecstasy, the creative refinement,
A vow of silence. If we are to truly believe in the grace of the artistically divine, we must put everything we wish to say oratorily on hold. We must open the floodgates to our creative baptism by closing the wound of the voice. If we go against the statute, we will find the sound of our spirit is silenced by the deafening folds of our throat.
Take unto you this responsibility of the mute, and you shall be delivered unto new, never-ending heights. Should you accept the sheer magnitude of this statute, you will be rewarded with a spiritually cleansed eye, an eye not guided by some forlorn notion of the vocal. It would be a sight directed by the sheer purity and innocence of the ocular.
A vehemently visual vision viewed via vernacular of voicelessness.
We need not concern ourselves with impious pleasures, the secular succubi of the common thought. We shall rise past this on a plane that leads straight into enlightenment.
At the minimum, we must sacrifice at least 1/3 of our militaristic machines to this purpose.
Purportedly, there are some among you that think this divine rule, straight from the soul of the purest canvas, has been too strict in the before. Well, I tell you now that the false prophets that you subscribe to will befall a glorious and well-deserved demise. They will be toppled by 2 pillars of our Samsonic might as their Philistinic city collapses around them. Should we follow this chastity of the larynx, we'll be rewarded with divine strength as a neo-Nazarite, newly reformed for the future of film. We will be born again through the powers of these perfect sets, for the heavenly hymns of...
We all know the truth. We've done the research. We've come to the conclusions that they don't want you to see. They think that your non-existent, overinflated value, it lies only in what you can give or gain monetarily. The blood, the pure broken hearts of others distilled into absolute capital. That is the only contribution in which some small, insignificant way casts meaning onto a vision of an infinitely more apt institution. But we know the truth. They try to package our bodies and condemn what we found through slander and misinformation, but I hold to you the truth. I'm the only one who can. They don't have your best interests at heart. I do. And I know that blood, that capital within you should translate into a format of pure film. of celluloid integrity. Anything else would be an abortion of cinema, a miscarriage of creative intent. Should you violate this demand, not only will this all-important reckoning destroy you, I will destroy you too. We will destroy you. Your armor against them will shatter like glass, and you will be cast out into the fray, into the void, into the lost and dark reality of none. You will be exiled and artistically castrated, unable to produce your putrid, troglodyte offspring of disgust ever again, because if you do betray us, you are one of them. Should you choose the middle ground of grain, the oh so illustrious, but sterile, easy, characterless act of 35, you will again be flogged or hanged until dead, and made an example of. The only option of worth, should you choose to believe that your insignificant ramblings and bloviations should have it, lies in 16 or 70. Anything else is a violation of not only what they don't want you to see, but more importantly, a violation of...
If deployed, our precise, agile aggregator will stringently source out any non-standard sources of delineation within the system and summarily reintegrate them in the most efficient way possible. No time.
Moreover, the following principle will allow for an integrated content management solution. This guideline is as follows. The artistic statutes laid forth indicate the allowance of exactly one shot that is not constrained in any form to the grounded stationary or movable track. One independent of contemporary restraints, instead placed by stabilizing equipment in the form of self-righting armatures as well as constructed weight-based build-outs as extensions on operating personnel. This rendering will exist for no more than 10% of the total duration of the final product and should take best practice via new variation on the historical usage of this established convention. As an additional subset of user discretion, this instance is not to exceed more than 10% of the final runtime of the official release of said artisanally manufactured production. If this protocol is found to be in violation, our system will automatically detect and promptly resolve the issue with a tolerance of even 1/1000th of a decimal point. You can rest assured that your investment in the human experience remains highly constructed.
Failure to comply with the standards set, therefore, will result in the previously aforementioned set of responses.
As an insubordination in this guideline is not just a violation of said runline,
But a violation of something much more interconnected. A violation of...
You need to start trusting me if this is going to work! The only way we can fix all of this is if you put your trust in me absolutely, and what we are trying to create here. There's no room for outsiders anymore. You need to purge those disgusting thoughts from your brain before they metastasize into a rot that is impossible to ignore. Dissenting opinion is dangerous. We must avoid them at all costs. To do that, we, each and every one of us, needs to keep a clear head. A very, very clear head. All distractions must be removed unless they serve to further the previous laws of Merek. In order to obliterate the pus-filled wound of our previous mindset with antiseptic, we must lance the boil off at the source. Blood and bile may... Spray from the wound. But this is good. It signifies growth. It is our body's natural defense against our artistically toxic state that we have been forcing it into thus far. Sounds of the instrumental diegetic music or otherwise are not permitted here. The only permitted rhythmic synth-box is a source of noise emanating from the diegetic drone. No traditional instrumentation allowed. If they are found, we will know that you were one of them the whole time. If you violate these laws of artistic nature, the only recourse is that you be violated as well. Because violating these laws is not only disembowelment of creation, not only dismemberment of art, but a gross infraction of...
It's imperative to keep the mindset of the system as true to form as possible. If your organization deploys this system on a global scale, any more than the maximum allotted characters will be met with immediate termination of contract and termination of all involved parties. The mesh integrated cross-platform network empire will evaporate radical thought outside of the limits we have imposed.
Everything must be controlled for final image. Nothing may be left to chance. No aspect will be left to improvisation or sudden change. It all must be executed according to...
No hope left in salvation here. There's only the sulfur pits awaiting us. Alas, it is these very things we attempted to avoid. A void of darkness consumes these commandments. Something unholy and impious lurking in the shadowy realm behind the here and now, inspired by the tenet that I doth speak. In order to stand the test of years, no aspect in this regard shall reveal itself. Place shall be nowhere, time no end. The antithesis, the rapture of mankind is surely already upon us. A plague, an annihilation, an apocalypse is at the dawn of the rising morrow. And the horizon, waiting to crash in a cacophony amongst our crimson cliffs of corpse.
From the folly of man to the folly of man to the folly of man to the folly of man must be produced originally and solely for each piece. Never leave the piece. Never escape its void of... Never remove itself from the...
Years. That is the shelf life of a product cycle. More than enough time to make a substantial capital gain off of your investment. With our system, of course. After that, the project becomes a product of the public person. It no longer belongs to its author, it belongs to us. All of us. Hold out its arms to the collective community of humanity and utter welcome. Welcome to...